We've all had that heart-stopping moment. Your phone, your entire digital life slips from your grasp. Not dramatically, not like in slow motion movies, but just enough, just subtly enough, to make your brain realize what's about to happen before your body can stop it. Your fingers react too late, and suddenly it's falling. Time stretches, your eyes lock onto it as it tumbles, end over end, toward the ground. You can almost calculate the impact before it happens: the angle, the surface, the outcome. Tile, concrete, asphalt, and in that split second before it hits, one desperate thought flashes through your mind. Please, don't be broken. Because you already know what's coming if it is. The crack, that sharp, unmistakable sound that instantly tells you it's over. But here's the strange part: sometimes it hits the ground and nothing happens. No cracks, no spiderweb fractures, not even a scratch, just a dull tap and silence. And that raises a question most people never stop to ask: why? Why does something that looks so thin, so smooth, so fragile survive impacts that should destroy it? What if I told you the only thing standing between your $1,000 phone and total destruction is an invisible shield? A shield that wasn't just made, but forged. Forged in a 400-degree chemical fire. This isn't just glass, it's a material that has been pushed to its limits, compressed from within, and transformed at the atomic level to resist failure itself. Today, we're going inside that hidden world, a world of extreme heat, precision engineering, and microscopic battles between atoms. And we're going to uncover the violent chemical process that creates an invisible suit of armor, just microns thick, yet strong enough to defy reality. Before we get to the fire, we need to understand what we're protecting, because your phone screen isn't just a screen. It's one of the most advanced pieces of technology you own. Think about how often you interact with it. Every tap, every swipe, every scroll. It feels instant, effortless, but behind that simplicity is extraordinary complexity. Your display is made of millions of pixels, and each pixel isn't just one unit, it's actually three: red, green, blue, each one controlled independently, which means your phone is constantly mixing light millions of times per second to create the images you see. But how do you control millions of tiny light sources? That's where the thin film transistor layer comes in. Imagine a microscopic grid. Each intersection contains a tiny electronic switch. Each switch controls a single subpixel. Now multiply that millions of times. This is happening at a scale so small that dust particles become catastrophic threats. A single speck, something you'd never even notice, can destroy an entire section of the display. And building this requires something extraordinary, a process called photolithography. Instead of physically drawing circuits, engineers use light. Patterns are projected onto the surface. Layers are built one at a time, like printing an entire city smaller than a grain of sand. Then, for OLED displays, ultra-thin organic layers are added, materials that emit light when electricity flows through them. Your screen doesn't just reflect light, it creates it. And all of this entire system, is incredibly fragile. One defect, failure. One impurity, failure. One crack, total destruction. So now you have a paradox. You've built one of the most advanced systems ever mass produced, and it's incredibly easy to break. So, how do you protect it? You don't just cover it, you engineer a shield. Let's talk about normal glass, because understanding why it fails is the key to understanding how engineers fixed it. Glass is strong in some ways. It can resist compression very well, but in tension, it's weak. And here's the problem: glass is full of microscopic imperfections, tiny flaws, tiny inconsistencies, tiny cracks that already exist before anything ever happens. And when stress is applied, those tiny flaws become starting points. Cracks begin, and once they start, they don't stop. They spread rapidly, faster than you can see. That's why a small chip can suddenly turn into a full fracture. Glass doesn't bend, it doesn't absorb energy well, it fails. So if your phone used regular glass, it wouldn't survive a single drop onto concrete. It would shatter almost instantly. So engineers had a challenge. How do you keep glass thin, clear, touch sensitive, but make it dramatically stronger? The answer wasn't to reinforce it from the outside. The answer was to change it from the inside. Everything begins with sand, but not the kind you'd find on a beach. This is ultra pure silica, refined to extreme levels, because even the smallest impurity can affect clarity, strength, and durability. Then comes the recipe, because this isn't just glass, it's engineered material. Elements like aluminum oxide are added to increase strength. Other compounds are included to control how the glass behaves during heating and strengthening, because from the very beginning, this glass is being prepared for something extreme. Then everything is fed into a furnace. Temperatures exceed 1000 degrees Celsius, hotter than lava, hot enough to completely erase structure. The solid becomes liquid, a glowing, flowing mass that behaves more like honey than rock. At this stage, precision is everything. Any bubble, permanent flaw, any contamination, structural weakness. But forming the glass is even more critical, because how you shape it determines its quality. Here's something almost unbelievable: the surface of your phone screen has never been touched. Not by hands, not by tools, not by machines, because touching molten glass, even perfectly, creates imperfections. So engineers removed contact entirely. Instead, they let gravity do the work. Molten glass flows into a V-shaped structure. It fills, then overflows. Two streams form, flowing down both sides, perfectly smooth, perfectly controlled, and then they meet again, fusing into a single sheet. But here's the genius: the outer surfaces were originally inside the liquid, which means they are untouched, perfect, flawless. This process creates glass that is incredibly smooth, optically perfect, and structurally uniform, but still fragile, still just glass, still waiting for transformation. This is where everything changes. This is where glass becomes armor. The process is called ion exchange, and it happens in a molten chemical bath at around 400 degrees Celsius. Inside the glass are sodium ions, small, compact, easy to move. Inside the molten bath are potassium ions, larger, much larger. At high temperatures, atoms begin to move. The smaller sodium ions leave the glass, the larger potassium ions enter, but they don't fit. They are forced into spaces that are too small, and as more of them pack into the surface, they push against each other, creating compression, uniform controlled compression across the surface. And this creates something powerful because cracks need tension to grow. But this surface is under compression, already resisting separation. So when an impact happens, the energy must overcome that compression first, and most of the time, it can't. Let's simplify it. Imagine trying to tear something. Easy. Now imagine that same material being squeezed tightly from all sides. Suddenly, tearing it becomes difficult. That's what's happening in your screen. The surface is constantly holding itself together, resisting failure, and that changes everything because glass doesn't fail slowly, it fails instantly. So, preventing the start of a crack is everything. If you're starting to see your phone differently right now, if you're realizing how much invisible engineering is packed into something you use every day, take a second to subscribe and hit the notification bell because this is just one example. There's a whole hidden world behind the technology around you, and we're just getting started. Now comes the part most people never see: testing. Because making strong glass is one thing, proving it works is another. Inside advanced labs, this glass is pushed to failure, dropped repeatedly on rough surfaces from different heights at different angles because real life isn't controlled, and engineers design for worst case scenarios. Then there are scratch tests simulating years of wear, keys, coins, sand, because the real enemy of glass isn't always impact, it's time. And then there's bending. Modern phones are larger and thinner, which means more stress, more flex. So the glass has to survive forces you never even notice. And every failure teaches something: where cracks start, how stress moves, what needs to improve. And that's how each generation gets stronger. The glass on your phone today is dramatically stronger than it was 10 years ago, not because of one breakthrough, but because of continuous improvement. Every test, every failure, every redesign refines the process, balances scratch resistance with drop protection because improving one often weakens the other. It's a constant trade off, a constant optimization. And that's what makes modern glass so advanced. After all of this, what do you get? Something almost invisible, a thin, transparent layer, but one that makes modern smartphones possible. Without it, phones would be thicker, bulkier, less elegant. Instead, you get edge-to-edge displays, ultra-thin designs, instant touch response, all because of this invisible shield. And yet, you rarely think about it until it fails. So the next time your phone slips from your hand and your heart skips a beat, remember this. That moment isn't just luck, it's the result of extreme heat, precise engineering, and a 400-degree chemical process that rewrites glass at the atomic level. What looks simple is one of the most advanced materials you interact with every day: an invisible shield, quietly protecting everything behind it. And if you enjoyed uncovering the hidden science behind something so familiar, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check out the next video. Because once you start looking closer, you realize nothing around you is as simple as it seems.